do or do not, there is no try. You know, essentially it's full commitment. It's full commitment, full confidence. Whether you pull it off or you don't, it doesn't matter. The point is you step in and fully commit to each and every shot. And that's kind of the mentality that I ideally play with. I was born on July 27th, 1993, here in Dallas, Texas, where I still live. I have a younger brother and sister. Both my parents played sports in college, so sport has always been an important part of my life. Loved playing everything. My first set of golf clubs was put in my hands when I was probably 2 years old, a little Tykes plastic set. And that's how I kind of picked up the game and grew up playing golf along with other sports. It wasn't until I was probably 12 or 13 years old where golf became my favorite and #1 sport. Before that, it was baseball. It was a tough day when I had to tell my dad that I wanted to give up baseball. I got pretty emotional. We were in the car, actually. I remember I was driving up the tollway here in Dallas. We were actually passing a baseball field that he used to play in an over 40-year-old league. My brother and I used to chase home runs around. And I remember saying, hey, I don't think I want to play baseball anymore. I think I just want to play golf. And it being pretty difficult for me to do, but he was like, hey, if that's what you want to do, then great. Eventually, it just became golf. I was never pushed to do anything, just to set goals and to do what I love to do. I had a good group of friends that I was practicing and playing with all summer long, and I got better and started to see the results, and I loved that the work that I put in was ultimately the work that I got out. Each year, you know, the goals were loftier and loftier. You know, I wanted to win this tournament or that tournament, or I wanted to qualify for a US Junior. It wasn't until I was probably 15 or so where I was like, I'm good enough now that if I stay on this course that I could play professionally someday. It was about that time where I started to really love the historical aspect of the game, and there is no greater history than the Open Championship when it comes to golf. That's the Mecca. That's the Mecca of golf, and I fell in love with the tournament. I fell in love with the imagination that you needed over there for your tee to green. That was always cool. I always looked at it like, man, you know, if you can play in the wind in Texas, maybe that translates over to the Open Championship, and it kind of gives you that inner confidence that you'd be able to go in and play.
Jordan Spieth. Right. Not an easy shot here to get up and down.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Jordan Spieth, how about that birdie at the last?
He will head to the Open Championship off a victory.
Oh, wow.
That Sunday night, you know, I didn't have any clothes for an Open Championship. It was the middle of the summer here in the States, and all of a sudden I'm packing a bag, and everything was happening so quickly. There was no time to stop and smell the roses or read or watch anything.
It hasn't hit me yet. I'm not sure it will until maybe I wake up on the plane. I'm extremely pleased and a little worried about only having short sleeves going to Scotland.
I remember just being on that airplane thinking, what just happened? I'm out preparing for a major that I didn't expect to be in. I mean, it was so much fun. It was just such a blast. My friends came over, we hung out in North Berwick. I remember just being in like a pool hall there and just having a pint and just being like, wow, we're all over here in Scotland right now. This is incredible.
The grandstands are just phenomenal here, more than any other tournament. It's fun, you know, everybody just absolutely loves golf over here, more so than I think anywhere else in the world.
It was really special. I loved the golf course. I loved competing that week. I remember making a couple birdies, working my way into contention, and starting to think, man, I mean, this is nice. I've got an actual chance to maybe compete at this Open.
This is Jordan Spieth. Talked a lot about him winner last week, just 19.
So impressive, saving his first Open Championship.
You needed a little bit more experience on links golf than I had at the time, and I fell into some traps, some kind of rookie traps over there.
Spieth in the sand again.
But I just had an incredible experience. At the time, I still had really a long way to go in the sport to get towards the top. I still felt like I was at a different level from the top guys, even though I was starting to kind of step foot into where they were. But it was a dream come true year for me.
Somebody seems to find a history lesson on why I was the youngest to do something. For me, I don't really think of my age. It's cool to be able to have, 2 legs of the Grand Slam now.
It was fun. I had just won the John Deere the day before again, and I remember thinking, let's go ahead and go after another major. I mean, I feel in form. I'm playing as well as anybody. I'm rolling in putts. I'm controlling the ball well.
Yeah, nicely.
It wasn't a grind. It was just a have fun with this whole experience.
Making it look very simple. Down the fairway, on the green, holes the putts. It's not a bad way of playing golf.
I knew, obviously, what was taking place. But I remember one thing being very important. I thought it was an advantage being at the Open Championship in a different country when it came to media and what I'd be able to see and hear. Because I don't watch as much television when I'm over there, I'm not on my phone as much. So I just remember thinking to myself, keep your head down. Just keep it down. You're doing everything right, and learn this golf course quickly, because a lot of people know this golf course really well. They've played it a number of times, and I hadn't. I had played it once before, so that was kind of my process going in.
Oh, you're kidding me. How many great putts has he made today?
Jordan, what is your take on the magnitude of what you are trying to accomplish tomorrow?
I do recognize what's at stake, and that opportunity only comes around to a couple people ever. And I'd like to be one of those people.
I remember number one, I remember having my wedge shot in there, knowing I needed to be aggressive that day. It was going to be a day where you could score a bit. I think it was a front right pin, and you had to have to deal with the burn if you want to get it close to the hole. And I remember hitting my wedge shot, just perfect distance in there, giving me that confidence that, hey, I'm right on today, and rolled in a putt. It's like, all right, that's exactly what we needed to do.
Best thing is Spieth starts with a birdie. He is a quite extraordinary 21-year-old.
That was the goal, hot start. That front nine is where you have to chase it. Like, you got to get some strokes on that front nine before you turn back into that wind. You get the down right to left wind to start, and then it's just tough coming in. And so a good start's key to where you can just cruise and don't have to force anything on the back nine. And that's exactly how it went. It was a great start.
Oh, it is. Jordan Spieth chasing the slam.
I put myself in the position I needed to be on each hole. Didn't overthink anything, didn't do anything special, just rolled in, the birdies when I needed to make them.
He's Spieth. In she goes, back-to-back birdies. He's done it. Oh, how did that stay out? My goodness.
I have the most vivid memory of 16. Right now, I close my eyes and I see the read on that putt. Straight, breaks right, then it straightens out, then it breaks right again. If you get it too far left, it goes off the green left. You get it too far right, it goes off the green right. But I had this great little line right through that if I hit it with the right speed, I thought it'd get close to the hole. And as I hit it and it's going towards the pin, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, that thing's going in. What a moment that was. At this point, I know that I can go par birdie to win the Open Championship on 17-18. So it became very real for me at that point. I have a couple regrets. I have a couple shots that I'd love to take back in my professional career. And one of them is the tee ball on 17. It's just after that birdie, I just kind of backed off a little and thought, as long as I just get through this hole, I'm good on 18. I took the left fairway line instead of taking the aggressive line that allows the hole to be shorter. And I took the safer route thinking I can make par, but it left a nearly impossible shot to hit the green on the second. I hit a good pitch, and then I just didn't quite commit to the putt. And just didn't hit it hard enough. I remember walking off that green just kind of just upset at the mentality I played the hole with. Was just unusual for me at the time, but I just figured I could get it in and just get to 18. You know, really just from everything on 16 till I'm walking up to the green on 18, I'm like, man, what just happened? I just didn't even give myself a real look. And I hit a good putt. I mean, I hit a good putt. I knew of the history there, and I knew that could be a cool place to make a putt from. And when it missed, I was very upset. And inside, I felt I didn't play the finish of the Open Championship to win the tournament. I played it not to lose the tournament. And that's not really my DNA. I was disappointed, but hungrier than ever to try and get back and win the Open Championship.
Talking all about Jordan Spieth's big Masters meltdown on his 12th
Carded a quadruple bogey 7.
An athlete come back from that type of collapse.
We'll stay with him
He is never going to let it go
No
away.
sport creates psychological demons more effectively than golf.
But as he continues to play major championships, those demons are going to start barking in the back of his head.
My sister, she's 7 years younger than me, and she's always been mine and my brother's biggest fans of everything that we're doing. She has special needs, and I mean, she knows if you win, but she doesn't really care more than if you don't win. It's just, you know, it's another day that she's out there supporting, and it puts things in perspective. When you're on the highest of highs or when you're in the lowest of lows, I mean, neither one really makes that much of a difference in the grand scheme of things, and you're able to see that. It's all the highest of highs with her, which is very cool.
Do you ignore the memories of Augusta?
What are your nerves like now?
How do you balance that concept of playing not to lose?
I knew that once I got into the media room that it wasn't going to all be positive, that a lot of it would actually be potentially negative, and I knew that I wouldn't sleep that well that night.
Tomorrow will be a day that'll be emotionally draining, and I understand that, you know, leads can be squandered quickly.
I knew I was hitting the ball well, and I knew that if I just continue to do that, then I should be able to play conservative enough golf to where I could ultimately capitalize. You tee off after 4 p.m., and that's really hard to do when you're up at 7 a.m. wide awake and you don't play for 9 hours. I had breakfast, I had lunch, I had an afternoon snack before going over, and you're watching the coverage without the sound, but you see your name pop up in the lead every time. And I'm watching the coverage so that I can see where the pins are, what guys are doing. That's one of the advantages of being in a final group in an Open Championship. And I just remember thinking to myself, I'm gonna learn a lot about myself, good, bad, or anything in between, because I was gonna be dealing with more than people normally are. I was gonna be dealing with some scar tissue. I was nervous about the first tee shot. I was really worried about the number 1 tee shot. Wind in off the left, it's out of bounds just right of the fairway. You have to feel like you're hitting it way left just for it to go back to the fairway. And I hit my first tee shot exactly how I wanted to, and it just went to where it was just in a horrible spot, and I ended up making bogey without missing a shot, and that rattled me.
A little hope for the rest of the field. Bogey from the leader on the first, back to 10 under.
Yeah, I remember bringing it up to Michael during the round, saying, "Hey, Mikey, I got some demons right now. I got some bad thoughts in my head about today and what could happen." I mean, during the round, I remember voicing that to him.
3 bogeys on the first 4 holes.
It was important for me to voice that out instead of hold it in. And I remember him having some really key things he was telling me to breed confidence into me.
And the lead's gone.
After missing that putt, I thought, there goes the lead. Now this is going to be this much more difficult.
Final 9 on Sunday, here we go.
I didn't even need to play that well to maintain a 3 or 4 shot lead on this 9 and make the back 9 a lot easier. It wasn't good. It was a tough spot to be. So the 13th hole is probably the hardest hole on the golf course. It had played into the wind a couple days. It had played downwind a couple days. Sunday it was mainly off the left, maybe a little bit of help. And when there's any helping wind, it's nearly impossible to hold the fairway, especially with driver. So you can hit a 3-iron and then you need another 4-iron into the green. But you can also hit driver and there's light rough on the right side.
Oh dear, this is so far right.
Oh dear, yeah, this is catastrophic.
I think they found it, but it's a long way right, fellas.
I just didn't commit to playing a draw. Instead, I lined up to hit a fade, and I left the face dead open.
We're looking at 4-foot-high rough, Jamie, where they think they've got the ball.
And I remember seeing the slow-mo of my driver on the ball, and the face just kind of jerk open right when it hit it. And I'm thinking to myself, that's not good.
This is a double drop staring him in the face, and you'd have to think there's got to be a sense of rising panic.
Everything that ensued after, finding out where the ball actually was.
It's carnage down here, I've got to tell you. It's absolute carnage.
I mean, he's literally on a rock face.
Trying to decide the best route to make the best score from there.
How on earth? He gets a line from here.
It took a lot of patience. And what took the most amount of time was really the rules officials talking to each other, trying to figure out where that drop would actually have to take place.
I've never seen anything like this.
My decision on what I wanted to do was made relatively quickly.
So he's pointing to the practice ground. He wants to go over there.
I mean, there was, 3 drops that took place, and I end up on the driving range.
Jordan Spieth down on the practice ground.
Do you all mind moving back too, just for your own safety? Okay.
Here we go.
With the shot that I just hit, I mean, wow, I've done everything right to this point.
The last shot was incredibly difficult. This is so difficult as well.
Chip it up there, and I have a putt for bogey, and Kuchar just made par, and I'm thinking to myself, with everything that just happened, I can knock this 6-footer in and only lose a stroke. The entire day I had felt like I'd been losing strokes, and when I knocked that putt in,
got it, he's got it.
I remember walking off the green, really thinking like I stole something, and went to the next tee actually feeling more comfortable than I had felt any time during that day. Felt like I stole a stroke out of that hole.
Jordan Spieth, almost unbelievably, only drops 1 shot.
And then I just hit the best iron shot I've probably ever hit in my life.
This is just, what is going on? Chaos and magic and chaos.
Astonishing stuff.
That comfort level just continued, and I just hit fairway, green, putt, fairway, green, putt.
That's just beyond belief, isn't it?
The boy's resilient.
What I kept thinking was each shot try and gain a little advantage over Cooch. I remember reading the putt. Ball's below my feet, it's gonna go downhill to the left early, it's gonna reach this valley, and it's gonna bank up and break left. It's gonna have a lot of speed to start because it needs that speed to get up the second hill. So it's gonna break even more to the left. So now all of a sudden I've lined up what would essentially be maybe a foot out to the right. I had seen guys hit it earlier that day and leave it short, leave it short, leave it short. And I just put a little extra pace than I really wanted to on that putt. As it starts to bank and I start to see it turn at the pace that it should turn into that slope, I'm like, okay, that's a great putt. And I don't think the expectation was that the ball would drop. You know, it was just rolling for so long. And then with about 2 feet to go, I'm like, wow, that's a really good putt. And then it drops.
You are joking. You've got to be kidding.
The tee box was the other direction. And Michael was already standing over there. But when I looked up to him, he was laughing. And I looked back and I'm like, man, I really missed an opportunity for a signature fist pump or a running jump or a scream or something there.
Terrific recovery, but to follow it with a birdie at 14 and the eagle at 15, to get back into the lead.
Cooch must be bewildered.
He must be thinking, what do I do to beat this guy?
The hole did look like a bucket at that point. Again, it was just gain an advantage on Cooch. Gain an advantage on Cooch. I hit a good drive. He ends up short right of the green. Well, that's par at best. He's got a tricky little pitch. Let me just go ahead and put this thing onto the green. That's a good shot. I have an advantage. Each shot was about just having that little bit of advantage.
Brilliant. It's exactly where he was aiming. He couldn't miss it right.
And he chips it up there and has about 4 or 5 feet. And so all I'm focused on at that point with the lead is put good pace on it.
See if he can stroke another one in. I wouldn't put it past him.
When I'm focused on just putting good pace on the putt and I'm seeing the line that requires that pace, I seem to make a lot of those putts. And I think I gave more of a fist bump on that one.
What can you say? The resilience this young man has shown in the last hour is beyond belief. Absolutely magnificent, son. You are a legend.
That was to get a 2-shot lead with 2 holes to play, which is just massive. I mean, that is with a par 5 and a tough par 4, that's huge.
I'll wake up in a minute.
When you look back earlier in the round, it's like, how in the world can you fix it like that? But it was just this zone that was unbelievable. I mean, to flip the script from that day, I mean, with a bogey, it was unusual. I like boring golf a bit better, but story-wise, it was pretty cool looking back. I knew the 18th hole with a left-to-right wind, out of bounds in play and hazard in play, it wasn't over yet. I needed to hit a couple very solid shots in order to finish that off. I really tried to enjoy it while staying very, very focused, because I thought to myself, hey, you know, you expect the unexpected. But when I coasted it up there, that's when it was essentially over.
Absolutely superb, again.
It was just incredible 4 holes of golf that closed that tournament out. For myself, it was a great feeling that, hey, this is the Open Championship. You know, wow, this is the Claret Jug. I mean, this is the most sought-after trophy in our sport. On a day like that day where it seemed out of grasp, there were times where I just didn't see myself holding it at the end of the day. It was overwhelming at that point. I had kind of gotten over the demons. I mean, I'd been through the demons and back, and it was done. Flying home, we had a great time. You know, we had friends on that flight. It was Justin and Ricky and Brooks, and we flew to Atlanta, and then I got on a plane from there and flew home and landed at, I want to say, around 4:30 to 5 o'clock in the morning on Monday morning. I was beat tired because I didn't sleep the entire flight, but when we got in, everybody was there. It was so cool bringing that back because I knew that they were all on pins and needles that entire day with me, willing the ball in the hole when it needed to be, and, you know, praying for me when it wasn't going well, and just to have my family there was so special. The fire burns just as deep. It was unknown back then. Now I know what it was like. I know the feeling of what it's like when you're on top of the golf world. When you have it, it's so special, but then when you lose it, you want it even more. I I'd like to duplicate what I did the last 5 years in the next 5 years. I think that would be a nice next step towards the middle of my career. I really don't think my career starts till I'm about 30. So I'm just trying to get started.